Hello, this is Joy News Desk with me, Mamiesi Nyamiche Thompson. We're live on DSTV channel 421, Go TV channel 125. Coming up, mixed reactions. Great renaming of Kotoka International Airport as members of parliament are divided over the issue.
This being changed. What is it? After it's Kotoka International Airport, Accra. So Accra is still there.
Also, commuters on Ghana's major roads continue to struggle for vehicles to their destinations. We're live from some bus stations. And we have another edition of Climate Evidence.
The entire gas nigga affordable fine. But distance no what. Car and at a motor, I could for the I Munico for the in and out 15 cities.
These plus some business updates on our desk. Do stay for details. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Now, there are mixed reactions to the Transport Ministry's request to change the name of Ghana's foremost international airport from Kotoka International Airport to Accra International Airport. In Parliament, the majority and minority are divided over the move. Let's hear first from Majority Leader Mahama Yariga.
We are changing the name of our airport from Kotoka International Airport to Accra International Airport. So a bill will be brought by the Minister for Transport for the name of the airport to be changed from Kotoka International Airport to Accra International Airport. So the Accra International Airport bill will also come.
Well, Minority Leader Alexander Penyomakin describes the move as an indictment on the governing NDC and wants the party's support base to oppose the move.
That all these years we've had this Kotoka, General Kotoka's name on the airport, and suddenly this being changed. What is it? After it's Kotoka International Airport, Accra. So Accra is still there. So if you come to Accra or even in the country, how many prominent Voltarians have their names on national assets or national monuments? This is the only thing the people of Volta region can also at least see as something that recognizes heroism from the Volta region. And that one too, they are being denied.
Meanwhile, political historian at the Department of History, Political Science and Public Administration at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Professor Samuel Edujemfi has welcomed the proposal to rename the airport, saying it will serve the purpose of posterity.
Yes, I mean, it's a critical issue to look at. First of all, we need to view this from the angle of history. I think within this space, we should not continue celebrating coup d'etat in Ghana, so that immediately you see the name Kotoka International Airport. We are embracing yesterday in its form that reflects the coup d'etat in 1966 that toppled Ghana's first republic. General Kotoka was a fine soldier, but that act he contributed to in itself was, for me, an act that served as a detriment to Ghana's democratic culture and also its democratic path.
But what does the ordinary Ghanaian make of this? Let's listen to some of them.
Oh, it's very necessary. They should change it. They should change it to either Ghana International Airport or Accra International Airport. Because, Kotoka, yeah, them he just overthrown Kwame Nkrumah, or he overthrew Kwame Nkrumah, right? So it's better. It's either Kwame Nkrumah International Airport is better. Kotoka, the plan B.
What is the history behind Kotoka? The airport being named after Kotoka? I hear he was killed there. That's the story. People want to bring political issues about it and tribal issues. So maybe Accra is in Accra. So they just name it Accra International Airport and then we'll all be free.
Since Accra is the capital city of Ghana, I think the name should be Accra, not Kotoka.
Everybody knows it's Kotoka International Airport. So I don't think if they change it, that will be possible.
If they name it Kwame Nkrumah International Airport, that is good because he was the first president in Ghana. And he was the one who built the airport, not Kotoka. Because they killed him there, that is why they named him Kotoka Airport. So to me, I prefer Kwame Nkrumah Airport, International Airport.
If it is appropriate for it to be changed, I think it should be changed, and nothing is wrong with that. Yeah.
I think it's cool if you change it to Ghana International Airport. When everyone is coming into Ghana, they know they are at Ghana International Airport.
I think Kotoka is okay. Everybody call the Kotoka, so even small child have, we don't say Kotoka.
They have to change it to Kwame Nkrumah International Airport. Yes, I think that would be the best.
It's not necessary for them to change it. Yeah, it's been Kotoka for a long time, and the name is cool. Everyone knows Kotoka, so I think Kotoka should be maintained.
It's an individual name anyway. That name has been in existence for quite long. There's nothing wrong with it when we decide to change the name to Accra International Airport, just to sell the name of Accra outside the world.
It's long overdue because from the history of Kotoka and naming Kotoka to our airport, it's not something good because if you know history, so changing it to Accra International Airport is it's a very laudable idea. So I agree with it.
Well, we'll get some more perspectives on this, but commuters on Ghana's major roads are still facing transport changes. We'll get to that story very shortly. I understand we have Justice Abdullahi on the line with us on this Kotoka name change. We're grateful for your time on our desk, sir.
Indeed, it's a pleasure to be here.
Yes, so there are mixed reactions, greeting this name change of Kotoka International Airport to Accra International Airport. From the legal perspective, what are the processes that will normally go through to get this name changed? At least we know the government has made its mind to do this. There's not been any change of perspective yet, but what will be the process to get the name changed?
Right. I have heard that the leader of parliament, the majority leader, talk about laying a bill for the name change, but the name was not originally changed by any bill. And we have a lot of monuments that did not go through the process of legislation. So I didn't foresee that happening. I thought that by executive fiat, we could simply just go ahead and change the name. But I do understand why sometimes we may want to use legislation so that it tends solidify the name, make it difficult for sweeping changes or ad hoc changes when anyone feels like it. But otherwise, I do not see the need in going through legislation to do that change.
What changes or what backing does it have when the process goes through Parliament?
So typically, if the government intends using legislation, then it has to be passed like any other law. So it wouldn't be any different from the normal process of passing law, unless, of course, they go through an emergency process, the certificate of emergency, which I do not think calls for this. Like I keep saying, I strongly recommend an executive fiat. By executive instrument, simply just make the necessary changes, inform international community about it, particularly the airline industry. They are the biggest stakeholders in this. They need to know that going forward, KIA is no longer KIA, now AIE, and which has always been the name anyway. That reflects the culture, it reflects our aspirations, and indeed it reflects our constitutional democracy rather than the glorification of a coup-monger, but a coup-maker.
Right. So, I mean, if this name change is successful, what is going to be the impact, knowing that the name has been that for several years? Now, if the name is changed to Accra International Airport, what will be the impact, especially letterheads are going to change, legal activities that are going to go on and all that. Can you take us through what the impact will be?
Naturally, it will come as a shock to those who didn't expect to see this. And for the airline industry in particular, if these are not done carefully, there will be some amount of confusion in the system as to whether they are dealing with the same Kotoka or they are dealing with a different airport in Ghana. And so that would have to be carefully thought through, could be well prepared ahead of time. Naturally, there will be the need for some amount of expenditure and some amount of education that we are dealing with airport, one space airport, which has always, so we may need a lot. But beyond, I think that
kindly reposition yourself for us. We seem to be losing you there. The line is breaking. Yes.
So that beyond that,
right.
I think that it's more across our constitutional, the best of our constitution, with thousands of the constitutional. So it's more project image of as a constitutional rather than a glory, a coup. And so that reflects our standing speech as people who stand by the rule of law, democracy, and the principles underlying these concepts. So it does support give them some level of quality and good reputation out there.
Right. Thank you very much, Justice Abdullah is lecturer at University of Professional Studies Law School. Away from that, commuters on Ghana's major roads are still facing transport challenges. The situation, which began earlier this year, subsided, but Joy News checks reveal it's still ongoing. Let's start from the Madina-Accra Highway. Stephen Mensah joins us with details on this. Stephen, what are you observing at the various bus stations?
Difficulty by some of the passengers from what we gather to get transport to their various workplaces or places they are visiting. I'd want to pick the thoughts of a few of the people currently over here. Hi, you're welcome to Joy News. I want to pick your thoughts. What we understand is there's a shortage in transport currently. What do you make of it currently?
We have not been getting it easy at all because sometimes you leaving the house early and coming here to join the queue, you get to work late. So I think the government should provide us with buses that can send us to work and stuff. Because these taxis, you come here 1, 2, then the queue to it's too difficult for us. So we are pleading to the government that it should help us because some of us, we are students and we get into school late. By the time we get there, the first lesson is over. And we are lacking, so we plead him, he should help us.
I want to pick your thoughts. What time did you leave the house and where are you headed towards and how long, what's going to be the effect on you?
Sometimes I leave the house 5:36, getting to this place, then I will leave this place around 8, getting to school, I school at La Paz, getting to that place, it will be like 9:30, 11, that area, due to the traffic too. Sometimes because of the traffic, we don't get to school early. Then the first period is over. So the government should help us.
Yeah, I can see you are coming to board the taxi to where you're going. What's the price? How much are you supposed to pay to go?
Now I'm not going to school, now I'm going to the house. So from here to my house is 5 cedi.
Ordinarily, how much are you supposed to pay? With the trotro you pick, how much are you supposed to pay?
Trotro takes 3 cedi, but taxi they do take 5 cedi. But from my house to La Paz, getting to La Paz, I can pay like 15 cedis because I pick 2 transports. So 15 cedis.
All right, thank you so much.
Welcome.
Well, Mami, I'll try and speak to more people, more passengers over here to pick their thoughts on what's the make of the transport situation currently. Let me try and get Chief. Good morning. Pacho, so who here?
Now,
how long have you been here?
Oh, I've been here almost 10 minutes.
Where are you headed towards?
I'm going to America House.
And what's the challenge? Is this the situation every day over here?
It's mostly early in the morning.
But it's almost some minutes. It's 9:30, 10ish, and there's still a challenge over here.
Yes, because I'm late today. Mostly morning is very difficult to get a car here.
I see. And what would you want done, given that we understand that this situation has been recurring for quite some time?
It's because of population we have. Yes, because we have a lot of population here, and mostly the trotro, it will not be full. It will take some time. That's why mostly we used to take taxi and we can rush to workplace.
But from the people I just spoke to, they say that the trotro is relatively cheaper than the taxi.
Yes, the trotro is cheaper, but mostly it will not get full early. Yes.
I see.
Okay.
But what would you want government to do in particular?
I want government to get private cars for us, private taxis for us.
All right. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Well, you just said one.
Now to Kasoa Malam Junction Highway, from where Michelle Latte also joins us.
At major bus stops in the city of Accra, just as the transport crisis deepens. Today we've come to the Kasoa Accra Road, and we see very long queues that have been formed. Passengers or commuters are really stranded. Some have to even join pickup vehicles that drop off at the various bus stops. We've seen just a lot of people here. Some say they've been here as early as 7 a.m. trying so much to get vehicles, but unfortunately they are not getting the vehicles. Not just because there are shortages in vehicles, but also because there's a heavy gridlock on the Kasoa Accra Road. Now, getting closer to some of the commuters who have been here for a very long time, some say 40 minutes, but even as we are here, we see that a lot of people rush to enter the various vehicles that are able to get here, just to make sure that they get to their various destinations at the right time. For a lot of them, they are already late. Let me get closer to one gentleman here. So these are two gentlemen here who tell me that one of them says he's been here as early as 6 a.m. Gentlemen, good morning.
Morning, madam.
You say you've been here as early as 7 a.m.?
Yes, please.
And you're still here?
Yes, please.
So what's the problem? Is this something you face on every day?
Actually, it's like the situation here is like no car. When they come, instead of streets, they will tell you they are going to drop like from here to Weja. When you make arrangement that we are going from maybe from here to Kaneshi, you have a Kaneshi fare. But they will tell you that Weja or Malam. That's the thing. But the arrangement you make, if you wanted to follow their procedure, you will not reach your destination.
Okay, so for you, it's the short shots you say, that's the problem. That's what has been keeping you for here for that long at this place.
And then the way people are struggling for a car, if you don't take care, they will, steal your money or everything you have on you. Right now in front of me, they just snatched someone iPhone 17 right now, and the person was here just crying because of struggle to get car. And if not that I can't fight to get car. If you wanted to fight, you see people like this, they are not going anywhere. But because of we are trying to get car, they will just come close to you and take whatever belongs to you.
Now where are you heading to?
I'm heading to Dansoma.
You're heading to Dansoman. And so far, no Dansoman car has come?
No Dansoman car. So you have to go and drop at Malam Junction and then continue. And right now, the situation right now, I'm not even getting car to Malam Junction and then continue to where I'm going. So the thing is, I can't continue, so I have to go back home.
And even with the initiatives, the interventions that have come from government, haven't you seen any improvement?
Oh, the improvement there is going by. It's like the mates and the drivers, they just Yeah, because of there's no officers around here, so they are taking that advantage to do whatever they wanted to do. Instead of they're supposed to go straight wherever they are going, they will not go there. They will not go there. Right now, they will come say they are going to Malan Street. Immediately they reach Weja, they will continue that Kanish.
You can see behind you in your shot what is happening. A car just arrived and people had to rush in quickly to get their seats secured. But let me get closer to another gentleman who tells me he's been here for close to 50 minutes. So you've been here for close to 50 minutes, you tell me. But where are you heading to?
I'm heading to Kanishi.
Is it for work?
No, I'm going to get a document from school and then from my SHS and then go back to school at Legon.
You're going to school. Aren't you late?
Very late.
And how is this particular issue affecting you?
You see, sometimes depending on the time lecture is going to start or the appointment is going to take place. Sometimes, assuming I have a class at 11, I have to leave home like 5. So I'll go and wait at the school till it's time for lectures. Else, if you are like, okay, since the lectures is 11, you are going to wait maybe 8, 9, you start moving, it means you are going to miss it.
On a daily basis, you leave home as early as the others, or this is the normal time you get here?
Okay, on a daily basis, I usually leave early. But today, I didn't really assume it's going to get this because normally, I thought it was a La Paz, Madina that causes, most people go to those places. So that's where the majority of the trotros head to. So I thought maybe by coming here, I'll get the Kanishi car very early, but I think I miscalculated.
Even as the transport crisis deepens, many commuters are still hopeful that the government intervenes in the situation. But right now, we're going on to other bus stops, major bus stops on the Accra Kasoa Road to see what the situation is. But currently here, this is what we see.
Michelle Latte, they're bringing us updates in the various bus terminals. Now moving on, Minister for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, Ahmed Ibrahim, has described the John Mahama government as accountability conscious, stressing that municipal and district chief executives must be fully answerable for their stewardship. At the Bono Regional House of Chiefs in Sunyani, Mr. Ibrahim reaffirmed that government's commitment to delivering on its development agenda and called on MDCs to work closely with traditional leaders to strengthen local governance. Precious Semevo reports.
Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs Ahmed Ibrahim used a familiarization visit to the Bono Regional House of Chiefs to engage traditional leaders on key development issues while confirming increased allowances for chiefs, queens and assembly members. The chiefs raised concerns about inadequate staffing and poor infrastructure hampering the work of the Regional House of Chiefs. They also appealed to the government to fast-track road projects under the Big Push initiative to boost the local economy and improve transportation across the region. The chief also appealed to the government through the assemblies to collaborate with traditional leaders to tackle worsening sanitation conditions in the communities. Osajifo Osiadeya Jimambedu II is the Regional House of Chiefs president.
Sanitation, particularly rubber bags, is consuming Ghana. The president, after the election, said he would partner with chiefs for a significant role to help tackle sanitation. If the assemblies cannot do the work, support us with the funds and we will do it very well, because no chief wants to see the community dirty.
Responding, the Minister Ahmed Ibrahim said government will review aspects of the local government laws to give chiefs a stronger role in environmental protection and sanitation management.
One, a bit more sanitation. Two, a bit more galamsey fight. Three, a bit more community development.
The chiefs had a palace court which could help with the sanitation. Galamsey fight, community development and communal labor. You can't refuse the call of the chiefs if you don't attend communal labor. So the president has tasked the review committee to take a look at the palace court again to help the situation.
He also said the government will not renege on demanding accountability from assembly heads.
As Minister for Local Government, be SAC, a social accountability committee.
There is something called SAC, Social Accountability Committee. If you fail, then you could be sacked. You have to account for the people, the funds received for 2025 and what they were used for. So the president has cautioned, if by the end of the first quarter and you have not done well, the president will speak by 31st March. So take all initiatives seriously. MMDCs, don't be comfortable in your office. Are you implementing the policies and manifesto?
Office was me office. Policies na any manifesto no. Are you doing it?
Precious Semevo, Joy News, Sunyai.
In Otakpolu in Ghana's eastern region, families have seen projects come and go, not because they reject change, but because their voices were not heard. Clean cook stoves are abandoned and women and children return to smoky kitchens and dangerous fuels. But when chiefs, queen mothers, and community members are listened to, everything changes. Solutions begin to work, lives begin to improve, and resilience begins to grow. Benedict Ohene Asamoah of KTU Radio has more in the following report.
In many Ghanaian communities, resilience begins with leadership. Chiefs stand before their people to champion new ideas. Queen mothers guide women and families through change. Youth leaders bring innovation. These voices hold trust, and when they are involved, energy solutions take root.
C'est quand gaz no qui no pas de no gas bien pire là ai na gas we wa area no na le gas e plan e giono no because of that of the gio ngati ma fear so yo and no go bring the gas na ma gas na ma use because at home me na ma use gas no ngati na ngati no ma se na me because of that of gas no go bring the gas. Now that's all. For the beginning of the beauty, for the beginning of the beauty of life. If the problem is, I can't bring a no my airport, the airport of we say come because the Camilla bottom. Every gas of the last day, I feel no. People money use me no live now use all the beauty of life, no problem. No, any time my gas, no, you know, my teach me. I'm a gem, now my teach me, but I use all that. Here, I'm young.
But too often, projects arrive without listening to them. Solar lamps lie broken, LPG stoves gather dust, and clean cook stoves are abandoned.
The entire gas nigga affordable fine, but this is no one. Ubefaka, another motor, Akofobia, I had Municofodia in and out 15 cities. That's an answer. What's our filigree na samba? Indicate manufacturer ni bi wo area hana ka ben ya. Ka filling station ni bi ben ya. Ka bia be dey. E be pe bia to. Bon, be men ya ewa. E na cylinder no bebre anu mu efiafo. Ko menye cylinder no free kura na ko fili dia. Nipa no be free so be den. Bo ba ko to cylinder be se 400 500 no onye.
Communities do not reject change. They reject being sidelined. Baker and colleagues 2021 explain in their research that when local leaders are excluded, energy projects become misaligned with community needs and often fail. And the consequences go beyond wasted investment. Families keep turning to firewood and charcoal. The smoke from these fuels fills kitchens, damaging lungs and causing respiratory illnesses, especially in women and children.
Cylinder boy day, gas bonds a day, intina my use bidie, na bidie no so ye use yes, so a smoke no a koyemu. And need jacry the same thing. The jan so smoke no roma, utimi yare, utimi bowa.
I had the kakra, a jano, it's me quietly. None your body in a not a gas no dear yet. Now, ain't me to gas until you still be there. Now, where the Yakakana, Malaria.
The demand for wood drives deforestation, which worsens soil erosion, reduces rainfall, and leaves communities more exposed to floods, droughts, and heat waves. But there is another path. When chiefs and queen mothers are involved, when communities are consulted, projects succeed. With women leading advocacy and solutions designed to fit culture, energy systems can last. With participatory planning, resilience grows. Energy justice means listening first, respecting culture, and trusting local wisdom. When solutions are owned by the people, they protect forests, reduce smoke, and strengthen resilience against floods, droughts, and heat. That is how communities secure not just energy, but a climate-smart future.
This story is brought to you by Joy News in partnership with CDK and Ghana, University of Ghana Center for Climate Change and Sustainability Studies, with funding from Claire R4I Opportunities Fund.
Neglected tropical diseases continue to thrive in the poorest communities, robbing children of healthy growth, adults of productivity, and families of dignity. In Ho, health workers and students took to the streets not in protest but with a powerful call to action. Ivy Satoji reports.
Diseases are endemic in Ghana, including elephantiasis and leprosy, among others, often linked to poverty and poor sanitation. They cause disability, social stigma, and long-term health complications, but are largely overlooked.
Neglected tropical diseases are 21 diseases that are all over the world. In Ghana, we have 14 of them that are endemic. So we have lymphatic filariasis, schistosomiasis, leprosy, leishmaniasis, and all other diseases. And these diseases are neglected, are found in poor populations. So what we do on the 30th January of every year, we celebrate the day to be able to create awareness about this disease so that we'll be able to stop this disease from affecting our people. The diseases come with a lot of disability. For instance, leprosy, we have a leprosarium in Ho. There are people that are affected, are stigmatized, that are not able to even integrate into their families again. So that is why it is critical for us to have this day. And also, students are part of it, so that in the trainings we are health institution, we'll be able to create awareness among students. These are nursing and midwifery students, that before they get into their place of work, they already know about these diseases, and then the neglect and then the discrimination will stop.
The float is part of a larger national initiative officially commemorated on January 30th of every year, but Volta region decided to kick off activities early, engaging students from nursing and medical schools alongside health professionals to bring awareness directly to communities. A lecturer and a researcher of the School of Pharmacy, Dr. Jonathan Jato, says while awareness is critical, research is equally important.
Whereas this awareness drive and public education is very important because of the impact of neglected tropical disease on our lives, it is so important to talk about research, and that's what we do. We do research into the diagnosis, the prevalence, and also the treatment models that are available within our scope to support the elimination of tropical diseases. This program is important because we, especially those of us in sub-Saharan Africa, are those impacted more by the neglected tropical disease. So it is important that we get people informed of the various neglected tropical diseases, the measures they need to take, the actions they need to take, and to pull partners together so that we can be able to fight. Some of them are diseases of poverty, some of them are diseases of common prevalence that we can work together to prevent or to eliminate. So the theme now is let's act now to eliminate neglected tropical disease.
The theme for this year is Act Now to Eliminate Neglected Tropical Diseases. Calls for collective action. The involvement of students ensures that while they graduate, they carry the knowledge and values forward to positively impact their communities. Neglected tropical diseases can be prevented, treated, and ultimately eliminated if communities work together. Ivy Setoji, Joy News. Cool.
You're still watching Joy News Desk. We take a break. We return with business.
You're welcome back. I am Michelle Lejekum. Let's settle for some business. Now, cocoa prices are under renewed pressure due to the weakening global demand. Winston Taki examines what this decline means to the cocoa sector and its wider impact on the economy in this report.
Global cocoa prices have fallen sharply at the start of 2026, raising fresh concerns over Ghana's export earnings and rural incomes. As at January 22nd, cocoa futures in both New York and London are trading at a multi-year lows, weighed down by weakening global demand for chocolate, particularly in Europe and parts of Asia. For Ghana, the world's second largest cocoa producer, the price decline comes at a sensitive time, with cocoa remaining a major source of foreign exchange and government revenue. Lower prices could narrow export receipts and complicate fiscal planning, despite ongoing effort to stabilize the economy. Industry data show a sharp slowdown in cocoa grinders in key consuming markets, signaling softer demand even as favorable weather conditions in West Africa point to improved harvest prospects this season. While stronger output may support supply, analysts warn that prolonged demand weaknesses and rising inventories could continue to cap prices, exposing farmers to income pressures and increasing volatility in Ghana's cocoa sector through 2026.
The World Bank Group and the International Financial Corporation have released the Be Ready report, which revealed that imports take about 23 days to clear border agencies in Ghana, compared to about 7 days in competitor economies such as Morocco, revealing significant gaps between policy design and service delivery. The findings were discussed at the high-level working session focused on accelerating Ghana's 24-hour economy agenda in Accra.
The reports highlight trade delays as key constraints. Imports take about 23 days to clear border agencies in Ghana, compared to about 7 days in competitor economies such as Morocco and Vietnam. Operational challenges extend to land administration, building permits, electricity reliability, and internet stability, all of which increase the cost of uncertainty of doing business. World Bank Division Director for Ghana, Liberia, and Sierra Leone, Robert Talisio, highlighted the need for efficient implementation of regulations.
I think the key finding, if I could summarize it in one sentence, is that while Ghana's regulatory framework actually compares relatively well to countries across the world, the challenge really is more on the implementation of those good regulations. And so there are quite a number of areas where the implementation simply doesn't match what's promised in the regulations. And this is holding Ghana back from delivering growth and jobs.
Senior country manager for Ghana and Liberia at the International Finance Corporation, Kel Kelhofer, emphasized the need to empower the private sector to create jobs.
We're all here to create more and better jobs for the people in Ghana. And we've seen one of the key drivers, over 90% of jobs in Africa are brought through the business sector and the private sector. And one of the key opportunities is this opportunities on value addition, whether it's increased agricultural productivity, increased manufacturing productivity, whether export or import substitution. We're keen on working with stakeholders and businesses, both international and local, to help create more and better jobs.
Presidential advisor on the 24-hour economy, Gusitano, called for efficient collaboration between the public and private sectors to spur growth.
If you want to develop a private sector, and make it a true engine of development. And the public service has to be responsive to that private sector, make things a bit easier, even as they enforce the requirements of the regulations. And I think the most important thing is that if you look at the operational efficiency section, which deals with how people are able to manage compliance, if we're not doing too well, it means that we need to do a lot more to get the private sector more savvy, able to meet the compliance requirements of the regulation.
The findings were discussed at a high-level working sessions themed Be Ready Ghana 2026, Bottlenecks, Solutions and Public-Private Troubleshooting for Accelerating the 24-Hour Delivery, which brought together senior government officials, selected private sector leaders and World Bank Group teams.
That'll be all for business. I am Michelle Ejekun. The small business news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. There's more after this break.
Welcome back to Joy News Desk. The majority and minority in Parliament began the second session of sitting with a clash over the dismissal of some public servants employed by the previous government. The minority leader raised the matter during the previous Parliament, calling for a full-scale parliamentary inquiry into the circumstances leading to the Chief of Staff issuing the dismissal letter. The matter came up again as Minority Leader Alexander Fayumaking insisted Parliament must look into it as a matter of urgency. Parliamentary Affairs correspondent James Afeji reports.
The disagreement between both sides of the House started with the minority leader's revisit to the call for Parliament to establish an investigative body to look into the mass dismissal of public employees through that infamous letter that came from the Chief of Staff, Julius Debra, in March 2025. The majority disagreed.
The information we had, we have in excess of 15,000 Ghanaian youths affected by this directive, and they are still at home. The understanding was that we would have to engage you so that you give us time to hear, since you are the only person who can sit or preside on this particular motion. So that, Mr. Speaker, you give your ruling for a body, a committee to be set up to investigate this matter.
As chairman of the business committee, you called this matter to be relisted and scheduled for consideration of the House. This thing has gone on since the inception of the Fourth Republic. Anytime there's a change of government, we have people's appointments being terminated, in many cases unlawfully.
We're ready, except that when one of the parties has gone to court and the matter is in court, and then you say the Parliament should inquire into the same matter. And I said it will prejudice the outcome. And our rules are clear on that.
And at the time that application was made, his case was pending before the Supreme Court. So to constitute a committee to investigate whilst the matter is pending squarely before the Supreme Court will offend our rules.
Honorable members, please, let's go back and refresh our memories.
The matter of the gold board's $240 million loss, as well as the Bank of Ghana's decision to diversify over 18 tons of Ghana's international gold reserves, also came up on the floor, and the majority mounted a strong defense for both the gold board and the BOG.
Our gold reserves, which stood at 37.1 tons in September 2025, plunged by nearly 50% to mere 18.6 tons by December. In just 3 months, we witnessed the utter evaporation of prior gains, financial phantom event that has left our national balance sheet dangerously exposed. When gold is turned to ghosts, the ghost that haunts the poor is hunger. When reserves disappear in millions and they vanish, and we are told that they are rather diversifying, the trust of the people dissolves into dust. 39 tons added by Gold Board gives us 3.8
billion United States dollars. Mr. Speaker, so if we lost 214 million United States dollars and gained 3.8 billion United States dollars, please do the mathematics. Please do the mathematics. Why will this House waste its precious time interrogating and investigating such a gargantuan gain to the Republic of Ghana?
Leadership of the majority have laid the bill to reform Ghana's legal education before the House, which is expected to be debated and hopefully pass within this week. From Parliament House, I am James Savaji for Joy News.
And that'll be all for this edition of Joy News Desk. There's more stories on myjoyonline.com. On that story, you see quite a number of them. Presidency treats radio scholarship bribery claim as grave public concern also. We didn't buy bulletproof cars for you to underperform Dafiamako to the Office of the Special Prosecutor. We also see from the NPP post-primary tensions unfortunate. Political scientist urges Balmia to unite NPP. There are more stories there that you can read for yourself, and that's all be all for Joy News Desk. We are back tomorrow.